Matthew, where'd Home Alone go?
I'm reviewing here! Bonjour, everybody! Welcome to another episode of I'm Reviewing Here. I'm your host, Matt Bussey, and I am watching and reviewing Sight and Sound's top greatest movies of all time. Also, welcome to the 50th episode of this podcast. Oh my god, 50 freaking episodes. 50 movies. I've spent... How many months has it been? I can't do math. Whenever I started this podcast, all those months, I've watched 50 movies. Wow. And I have like a gazillion more to go. Actually, remember too that there are some movies on this list that I truly like cannot find. So if you're actually following this podcast seriously and like you have the list of Sight and Sounds films and like you're copying it to my episodes and everything and I'm missing movies, guys, it's not intentional. I just can't find the movies anywhere, and I live in the US, so I don't know why I said that. Oh, I guess what I was trying to say is, like, you know, other countries, a movie may be made available. But here, I can't find it. Oh my god. All right, let me just take a sip of my tea. Hold on. It's tea time right now when I'm recording. Shit, that's hot. Ow. Yeah, I'm, like, currently half naked right now. I'm in a bathing suit in my condo in Philadelphia because it's been, like, 97 freaking degrees all day. And, yeah, I literally went to the roof of my apartment and sprayed myself with the hose. I don't even care. I was wearing a bathing suit. I don't even care. I don't care if other people on the roof saw me. That's crazy. When you go up on that roof, you can see everybody. I'm getting some like Shia LaBeouf Disturbia vibes here. Or what's the more famous movie? Sorry, Rear Window. Yeah. Okie dokie. Things are good, though. I feel a little bit cooler. I just turned off the AC, which is not a good idea, but I have to because I want to save some money. But yeah, the more I talk in this 50th episode, though, the more hot I'm going to become. But I do wish that, unfortunately, I wish that the movie I'm talking about today I actually enjoyed because of it for the 50th episode, but, you know, whatever. I'm not going to let that ruin the day. Look, every movie is different. Some movies I'm not going to really be a fan of. Other movies may surprise me, but I just may be a little bit turned off by them, or they're just not for me. It is what it is. Today's movie, though, is an absolute, like, the most abstract movie I've ever seen. Not just in my life, but, I forgot what I was going to say. Sorry, I just looked out the window and I thought I saw somebody staring at me, but it was just a stranger walking. Okay, but before we do that, though, it is rank time! Ooh, this is fun. It don't mean a thing if you ain't got that thing. What's the lyric? I forget how that goes. Yeah, rank time. For those new to this, this is the not at all stupidly named segment that I do. Every 25th movie, I go back and rank the previous 25 movies, and I pick some favorites, pick some ones. I have a bunch of categories here that I'm going to say. Before that, though, I just want to quickly, I'm going to talk fast, all the movies I reviewed since the last 25. Okay, so I said that wrong. The last 25 movies, here they are. The Crowd, A Touch of Zen, Je tu il elle, Petite Maman, Flowers of Shanghai, Happy Together, Crash, Blue, Grave of the Fireflies, The Green Ray, By the Bluest of Seas, Duck Soup, All About Eve, Brief Encounter, Suspiria, In a Lonely Place, The Deer Hunter, Army of Shadows, Melancholy, Twin Peaks, Fire Walk with Me, Pink Flamingos, Raiders of the Lost Ark, Limite, The Life and Death of Colonel Blimp, and today's film, Wavelength. Alrighty, here we go. Kill me! I am never watching this movie again. Pink Flamingos. I'm sorry. I know, I just don't get it. I don't get the appeal. I will never understand the appeal of that movie, but I'm never watching the movie again. Surprisingly disappointing movie. All About Eve. I know, it's not for me. I know it's like every film critic's like wet dream of a movie, but no, not for me. I've had some issues with that. OMG, I actually enjoyed this. Blue. Blue is a very, very experimental movie. I can't even put it into words, but you know what? I did not think I would enjoy it as much as I did. Incredibly done. Jesus effing Christ, what did I just watch? Crash. Crash is the movie about people that get turned on by car accidents, so they'll get in a car accident and then have sex. Yeah, crazy. The best so far. This was a very hard one to pick, because a part of me wants to say Raiders of the Lost Ark, because that is just like an iconic movie, but you know what? You know what movie out of the last 25 that has really stuck with me the most? Happy Together, Wong Kar-wai's beautiful love story. Oh my god. breathtaking cinematography, remarkable performances, a heartbreaking story. I loved it. I absolutely loved it. I think it's so underrated. And I saw it weeks ago, and I'm still thinking about it. Blown away. All right, cut out the music. Shut up. Stop. Okay. There we go. We're done. Oh man, that was fun. Oh, I am sweating right now. I also had to like recut part of that because as I was talking, a car went by and honked at me, and it must have been someone who probably loves a movie that I didn't like, so I don't know. Alrighty, now that that's done, let's get into today's movie. This may be a pretty quick episode too, because this is a short movie. It was like 40 minutes long. The first short movie on this list of films. I love short movies too. Short movies, I think, are so much fun. I think, I work for a film nonprofit, and it's like my favorite thing. Like, getting all these short movies. And I think what's so fun about short movies is it's so exciting when directors, these artists, can put so many incredible ideas and art in something that's like limited in time, I'm trying to sound like elegant, but I just sound like an asshole. So you know what I'm saying. No, shorts are good. This short I did not really understand or like for the life of me. So today's movie is Wavelength. Take a listen. This is an actual scene from the movie.
You are a toy!
Ha! Got you there. I'm so funny. That movie has been stuck in my head because I have a nephew who will watch that movie on repeat, like literally watch it on repeat, and I just love that line. Let's hear it one more time.
You are a toy!
Woody's meltdown in that movie. I can relate so much to that. Yeah, there's no trailer or clips for Wavelength. You can watch the full movie on YouTube, though. Wavelength, not Toy Story. Yeah, but I was not gonna... I would never do this to you guys. I would never upload the full movie because when I tell you why, I don't think you would want to hear it. Okay, I'm gonna be nice. I am gonna be nice. That was just a mean joke I was saying. The Wavelength is a very artistic, abstract, experimental movie. I've said this a gajillion times that experimental, quote unquote, that scares a lot of people away. It scares me sometimes. But sometimes when it's done right, I really like it. I love a good artsy movie that is not traditional in any way and you don't understand, it's fun. It's meant to be challenging, if you're meant to be confused, So Wavelength, this is a movie written and directed by this, it's a Canadian movie. It's by this, guy named Michael Snow. Michael Snow actually just passed away, like right at the start of this year, I just found out. I think he lived to be in his 90s, though. Pretty amazing. Wavelength takes place in one room. It's this like apartment building or whatever, and the camera is facing these windows, on the other side of the room. And some stuff happens. So what happens exactly? Well, the whole movie is one shot. It's all just one long shot. And we see a few people come in. We see this one woman come in and she's, and then like these other women come in and they put on the radio. Strawberry Fields Forever is playing. And then we cut, a few scenes later and this guy comes in and he basically falls to the floor and it's implied that he's died, And then we see the same woman, one of the women beforehand, come in and discover this guy, and she calls the police, But what's very odd is that she's not freaking out at all. Like, she's very, very calm about it. And then, basically, the whole movie, what happens, what Snow does, he edited this movie too, he very, very slowly zooms into this, the windows, and then you hear these crazy sounds that get louder and louder and louder. The best way I can describe it is like what is it? Like a frequency on a radio that, like, if you put it on too high, it's like, yeah, it's like that. And he does this for like pretty much the whole movie. It's like 30 minutes of this. So the camera very subtly zooms in to these windows, and the sounds just get louder and louder and louder. And how loud do they get? They get so loud that you feel death. This you do feel death as well. It's funny, I was watching this at home, and at one point, it was a Saturday night, and I was watching it, and my dad came in and went, "What's that noise?" And I made a note. I said, "My effing ears are ringing right now." Fuck. Yeah. And then, you know, the sounds get louder and louder and louder, and then at the very end of the movie, we get this, we see this picture of the ocean, and I made a note. It's always about the goddamn ocean. It is. It's always about the ocean. I've seen so many movies that the ocean is like such a big symbol, and I don't know. Maybe subconsciously I'm just jealous because I really want to go to the ocean. I'm going to the beach in a few days though. Finally, God, it's the first time all well, summer just started, so I can't really say all summer. But anyway, the movie though, the whole movie, you know, it's basically, it looks like a really poorly recorded VHS tape. You know, and sound obviously is very prevalent. Now, before we get the, you know, the really loud sounds, just in general, sound is very, it plays a big theme in this film. It's like a character in itself. You know, when we see the windows, we're hearing the cars speed by, and we're, you know, it's like when the cars go by, it's like, you know. So it's a very audio. This movie really does assault your senses in a way. It does that. Now, is that a good thing or a bad thing? Look, I'll let you decide. I will let you decide, because it's an abstract film, and it's more than that. It's a structural film. Now, a quote unquote structural film was a film movement that began in the 1960s. Oh, and this movie, it came out in 1967. I'm sorry, I don't know if I said that. But structural films, basically, they rely on one shot, and this is what I found, flicker effects. So flicker effects, that can mean anything. It can mean really loud noises or actual visual flickers, you know, with the camera or in the editing that they did. And this movie was filmed for 1 week in 1966, and it was so, revered by Canadian film critics that it later was preserved by the Audiovisual Preservation Trust of Canada. But this was actually, it was later, sorry, a bit of a downer, but that was later shut down by the government. And to this day, people are really amazed by this movie. It is very unconventional and experimental indeed. Some people have called it one of the most experimental films of all time. Snow, the director, said that his intent was for the film to be, quote, a summation of my nervous system, religious inklings, and aesthetic ideas. What does that mean? I don't know. Summation of my nervous system, religious inklings, and aesthetic ideas. Okay, the summation of nervous system, I can kind of see that. I mean, because this movie is a prime example of how you can use film. I know assault is like a big word, but I'm saying it figuratively. You know, this is an example of how you can use the medium of film to actually assault the viewer. You know, in this case, the assault is on the ears and not the eyes. You know, like there's nothing shocking to look at in this movie. There's another movie that came out, I think it came out last year. It's called Lux Eterna, Lux and then Aeterna. It's by this crazy director named Gaspar Noé. Lux Eterna, like this movie kind of reminded me of that because Lux Eterna, like the last 35 minutes of the movie is flickering lights, you know, like strobe lights, flickering lights that would give you a seizure if you are prone to have seizures by looking at that kind of stuff. And watching the movie, it blinds you. It physically blinds you. Like watching that movie, I was like, oh God, what, you know, and I had a headache. And that's what Noé wanted to do, the director. He wants to literally use this crazy medium and physically, not emotionally, because, you know, movies can emotionally affect us, but in this case, what Noé and what Snow does, I have a point when I'm comparing these two movies. I think what both of these directors are doing, is just that. I think that's a really good thing. It's an annoying thing, of course, because why would you want to feel physically assaulted by a movie? But I get that. At the same time, I wish that the purpose of Wavelength was a little bit more. I wish that it manifested itself a little bit more, because Wavelength is like a movie. If you go to the art museum, you go to one corner and there's something playing on repeat on a TV screen or something, and you walk by and you go, oh, cool. And then, you go and buy really expensive coffee downstairs in the gift shop. It's that type of movie. Sometimes, and I don't want to offend any artists out there, sometimes I have a bit of, not like a personal issue, but an issue with abstract art in general. There's a piece of art at the Philadelphia Museum of Art where it's a toilet. I think it's a replica of the previous artwork, which I don't remember the name of the artist, but I remember like going to college and I took an art history class, and I love art history, but we were taught, yes, that is one of the most famous artworks ever, and I don't mean to like offend, but I just remember going, I don't get it though. It's just a toilet. What's artistic about it, And I feel like the teacher said something a little bit like, well, like look deeper into the meaning. I'm like, it's where people pee and poop. Like what that's the meaning of it. I don't get it, I don't get it. And I think going back to why I have a bit of an issue sometimes with art is abstract art, that is because sometimes I feel like people can use it how do I say this? It's funny, as I'm talking, the hot sun just went away and it's like about to pour right now, and I keep hearing thunder in the distance and it's really scary. I think, it annoys me sometimes when artists show you something that is not really art. It is artistic, but it makes no sense. And they say, yeah, it's great, isn't it? And sometimes I'm just like, I don't, how though, how? It's great if somebody analyzes it, somebody with like an incredible IQ and a bachelor's degree in film, and, if they really analyze it well, and I can understand that, then I'll get it. But with Wavelength, though, I read the reviews and I feel like all anybody ever said was, yeah, it's experimental. It's so good. And I'm like, experimental cinema needs to also have a bit of, an experimental movie needs to have a purpose at the same time, And I was hoping that there was more of that in Wavelength. You see these random characters come in. You can barely hear what they're saying, but, you feel like maybe there's some kind of connection between the women and the what looks like a suicide and the Beatles, and then the whole movie just kind of gets literally louder and louder and louder. I mean, what's that meant to signify, Death? I think so, maybe. Perhaps that's what, when Snow, that quote he said about the religious inklings, that's what he was trying to make with this movie. Maybe that is the religious part. Maybe the end is kind of like that, I don't know. Okay. Do I recommend Wavelength? No, I don't recommend it. I think there are a lot better movies, a lot better artistic movies out there. But, oh my God, it just started pouring. It's the Ghost of Snow. He's mad that I don't like his movie. No. Look, it's very creative. It's very, very creative. I don't recommend it, though. Just personally, if somebody were to ask me, what movie should you check out, number 50 on the list, should you go check it out? I would probably say no. I think, even though it's a short movie, no. What is the moral of Wavelength? The moral is ears are very sensitive. Yeah. And on that note, it just started raining, and I got to go shut my windows. Oh, and where can you watch this movie? YouTube. Shit, I'm so sorry, you guys. I also have been forgetting to say where you can watch these movies. Forgive me. Kind of been testing some new stuff out. I will include in the show notes, too, the trailer for Lux Eterna, because it's another example of, like I said, a movie that assaults you. So if you want to get assaulted, by all means, go and watch these movies. Okay. And that's the end of the episode. You made it. You're alive. Ah! I'm so happy for you, and I hope I didn't annoy you too much. And if I did annoy you, I don't really care. Thank you so much for tuning into this episode of I'm Reviewing Here. New episodes are weekly, usually Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. You can subscribe to this podcast wherever you get your podcasts. You can also subscribe on YouTube. New episodes air the same day they do as on the podcast. Follow me on Instagram at I'm Reviewing Here, or you can follow me personally at Mabussy. It's my last name. It's not funny. Don't laugh. All right. Bye-bye.